Okay, welcome back to another episode of Gaming Before You Were Born. A lot's happened in Pool of Radiance. I managed to clear out a lot of the city, actually. I flushed out the Temple of Bane, so I finally got rid of Durton and all of his bugged out spells. I also finally got into that building that I was locked out of. When Quick Ben leveled up, I learned the knock spell. I used that to get in there, and I found this madman who, as soon as I took him into the city, and as soon as I tried to get my commissions from the center of town, he just went nuts and started attacking people. So, can't go any further north. I'm not sure what that was about. I think it's related to what the fortune teller told me. What? I think it's related to what the fortune teller told me about you surprise a group of gnolls. Sure. I wonder if I can parlay with them. I had taken some notes about what tricks works on what people. That was really useful. I don't have anything on gnolls. Alright, what haven't I used yet? Meek. See if Meek works on gnolls. Nope. Alright. But yeah, I think the madman attacking everybody in town was related to the fortune teller. I'm guessing. I think he was reacting to something he knew about a traitor, but I don't know specifically what. I've been thinking a lot about the difficulty of this game. This is an easier way to find out where they are. There we go. And just how it's really well designed. Oh, and I'll show you exactly what I mean once these guys get a little closer. Step him up one. You're good. Step you up a little bit. Because, as I thought about it, this game did a phenomenal job of just having like a tiered difficulty that didn't revolve around just having numbers go up. I mean, some of it is, but a lot of it's more tied to finding things or getting certain things or unlocking certain avenues of gameplay. Even though I think a lot of RPGs this time had just get bigger numbers to beat their numbers approach, although I definitely plan on playing more to know for certain. Alright, these guys are... Alright. Fireball. Okay, I have to have an ode to Fireball right now. The moment you get Fireball in any Dungeons & Dragons RPG is a very special moment. Because when you get Fireball, suddenly crowd control is not a problem. And it's one of the most damaging spells as a wizard. Oh, yes. I can probably take out all these guys. Let's hit them right here. It's just so satisfying. It's so satisfying. I can probably just take out the rest with arrows. But yeah, I mean, in the moment, right up until you get Fireball, crowds are gonna be a problem. Just because they have sheer weight of numbers. You know, they might just attrition you down. And there's not an incredible amount you can do about it. But once you get Fireball, they're just done. Oh wait, never mind. I don't know what I thought I saw, but it wasn't what I was actually seeing. And that's kind of like going into that tiered difficulty where, you know, you start... Run away. You start the game and absolutely everything kills you in one hit. It's ridiculous. And then, you know, you get level 2 and you have a bit of an easier time of it. but then they start throwing just bigger guys at you, and you're still getting hit too much. So eventually you start finding like more magic weapons and magic shields and rings of protection. I actually found a cloak of displacement recently that was really useful. But then you just still have the raw, like, numbers problem. You know, dealing with just swarms that you can't adequately, you know, they're going to get lucky. If they need a 20 to hit you and they're attacking you 50 times in a round, they're still going to get some lucky hits in. That's just how the numbers work out. They might get more than a few lucky hits in if you are really unfortunate. Okay. I'm just going to let the other ones run away. I don't feel like chasing them because all my guys are so laden with booty. So Fireball is like a pivotal moment. I feel like it's always a pivotal moment, and absolutely, it's a pivotal moment in absolutely every RPG, or at least Dungeons and Dragons RPGs, just because of how, actually, main camp, how it really just opens up the game for you. Like, you'll be struggling, you know, certain situations will just always be really difficult, and then you finally get Fireball, and now, you know, you spawn a group of merchants. Parlay? Greet you and exchange pleasantries. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I'll see it on the capture. I found this pyramid. So my current commissions are figuring out the source of pollution in the river, and I believe it's the pyramid. And then it's also to find a nomad camp, and I think it was a kobold settlement, and keep them from joining forces with whatever is assaulting the city. This, I think, is the more difficult of those three things. So I want to put off doing it until kobolds parlay. I think I've let's try Meek. Whatever. Meek is going to work on something, I just don't know what. So I want to try to find the kobolds. If I encountered them, I might be close. I'm tempted to try to map out this area, but it's not really like a nice grid for me to do that with. I'd have to kind of like just, you know, freehand draw what I think I see, and that may or may not go well. How far away are these guys? Because I've made a mistake before of trying to cast Fireball and not... They aren't close enough. Alright. You're going to move up. We're just going to get closer. Or Fireball them. We'll get them. So I want to try to find those areas and maybe level with a guy or two before I try to go into that area. I have a sinking suspicion I will have to fight magic users there, which is not something I've had to do before, so I'm kind of nervous how it might go for me. I don't know. Oh, the tree is blocking my line of sight. Yeah, the combat in this game, I am continually impressed with how dynamic it is, especially now that I've finally gotten out of the city. I don't know if I pointed that out, but it should have been obvious. I'm out of the city now, and I'm encountering all kinds of interesting new enemies. Not these. These aren't interesting and new, but I fought like minotaurs and displacer beasts and giant lizards and a lot of different stuff. It's really interesting, which is, this game needed that. It was starting to get a bit samey, fighting the same goofy hordes of guys over and over and over again. Alright, it's time for Fireball. Because I'd even started to like figure out the different way. Oh, yes, thought he was going to get interrupted. I've even started to really figure out the different ways you can parlay with all these different guys to just get them to leave you alone. So like, you know, when I was clearing out the Temple of Bane, I was just talking everybody out of fighting me. I was parlaying with them and just getting them to go away. Let me off with a warning. So, you know, that was nice. It let me avoid a lot of tedious combat, and it took a little trial and error to actually figure that out, and it didn't get me out of everything either, so I felt like it was fairly well balanced. Like every now and again, some group of enemies would just see me and jump me. I would even have the option of parlaying. So, you know, it wasn't like a get out of everything, and then obviously the boss fights I still had to do. But it let me get out of enough that the game didn't feel like it was getting too tedious. Which, that's actually really impressive. I am shocked that they actually got that right. And I'm almost surprised I've never seen it since. I'm really surprised I've never seen that in an RPG. Like, a few give you the option to avoid combat that you're not interested in. But it's always been, like, based on, like, for example, this has a flee option, too. You can try to run away from them, and that's based on, I think, you know, how encumbered you are, your movement rate versus their movement rate. You know, it's got that kind of mathy, chance-driven approach to helping you get out of combat. But this one has more of a kind of deterministic, you know, if you've tried it enough times, you know, you run into enough of these encounters, you have 5 different options for parlaying, hey, you might find the right one eventually. You know, if you take notes, keep track, try to remember. And that's a nice touch, you know, and then they throw another enemy at you, and you got to figure it all out again, but I'm okay with that. Especially because, you know, I think I mentioned it the very first episode. Might have been the second episode, though. God, I'm so full. I can't even pick up anything. I gotta trade some of this junk out. I am so way down. No. Alright, we're just gonna go back to town. North edge of the city. City? Oh. Where am I? Where is this? Oh, that was the Thieves' Stronghold. That was Cobalt Mansion. Interesting. Where was I? Oh yeah, getting out of combat. So that's really nice. And actually, one of the things I've been thinking about as I play this more is I feel like the pacing might actually, in some ways, not every way, but I think in some ways it's actually better than an Infinity Engine game. Let me just pull all of everything, because that always helps. And I'm saying that because... Oh, what is that? Spetum? I don't even know what a spetum is. Is it one-handed? It's two-handed. Alright, how much damage does it do? 1d6. Two-handed weapon, that's kind of crap. I'm just going to get rid of it. But yeah, like you can... The biggest thing is you can move a lot faster than in an Infinity Engine game. I think everybody who played an Infinity Engine game was losing their mind about how slow you move. It's just so painful trying to backtrack and get where you need to go. I'm shocked anybody has the patience for it. I should buy some more. Buy I remember when I was playing, I think Baldur's Gate, I just started casting haste on everybody. Horribly wasteful. But it was just to move things along. Because it's just that slow. It's just that painfully slow. And, it was the same for a lot of things. Oh, he definitely needs more arrows. I almost wish that the Infinity Engine games had some sort of fast forward option. For all I know, it's been modded in. I feel like I remember one of them let you increase your walking speed a little bit, or maybe it was just default sped up slightly. But you almost wish it had some kind of fast forward option, because it's grid based movement, and it kind of does like ticks of time instead of being real time. Just however fast you hit the buttons is however fast the game goes. It just feels better. It feels like you're wasting less time. And then also the resting mechanic, I feel like is actually better implemented in this game, because from what I remember in like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, those games, there was a constant chance always when you rested in an area that you could be interrupted. It was just one of those things that was always there, ever present. And they don't have that in this. Like, areas are unsafe until you make them safe. So I really want to get rid of some of this gold. So much platinum. I have nothing to spend it on. Absolutely nothing. My guys are so encumbered with money. I think I might just stop picking it up. But yeah, like in the Infinity Engine games, you just always had to work. Everybody, I think, is maxed out except for him. See, I think he's picking up the slack of all the money other people can't carry. That's funny. In the Infinity Engine games, just resting was always a pain, and you had to rest to get your spells back, so... Oh, let me check if anybody's leveling up. I think Doc... Oh, he's so close. I took some notes on this. He needs 1,000 more experience, and he can level up. I think his final level is 6 in this game, which is a little unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, so this game offers you, I feel like resting is easier, so you don't have to backtrack as much to like, an inn in town where you can heal. It's like it requires you to backtrack less, and it gives you more options to safely heal in the field. So that's just, I feel like that's a really well balanced thing. Just want everybody to, except for him. I should probably give him a bow, but everybody's so weighed down as is. So yeah, the pacing of this game just feels amazing. I feel like I waste a lot less time doing things in this game than in a lot of others. It just, I don't know, something about it. More kobolds. I didn't even get to parley with them this time. But yeah, now that, that's a lot of kobolds. Alright, they are so ripe for some fireball action. Try to hit him with a sling a few times. Who does not love fireball? think now that I'm in like these wider open areas, I notice the enemy trying to flank me a lot more. Like trying to get around my backside, and that's really interesting, actually. They're being a little smarter now that they have the space to maneuver. Which, once again, just things that I wasn't expecting. This game really shows SSI's prior experience with war games. I understand they did a lot of, I don't know if they were adaptations of like tabletop style wargaming or conflict simulations, or if they just, or if they were like direct translations of war games. Manual. But it definitely shows that they have some experience designing interesting combat scenarios. Just because they did a really amazing job on this. No line of sight to those guys. Stupid trees. These trees are really blocking a lot of my visibility. I wonder if I even want to waste a fireball on these guys. It's fun, but I really want to make a video that's just an ode to Fireball. I want it to be just a montage of Fireball across, almost 30 years now of Dungeons and Dragons video games. That would just be so fun to do. I'd want to capture the footage myself though, and that would be a lot of these games to play, but I would do it because they're fun. Some of them I don't think I'd even have to get that far, just because it starts you off at a slightly higher level. Interesting. Let's just guard with him. But yeah, I think that would be... I almost think Fireball is more impressive in these gold box games because I feel like they throw bigger hordes of people at you, and you have more opportunities to wipe out just an obscene amount of people with one fireball. Like, I don't remember fighting 30 guys at once in Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale. Definitely not Planescape. I remember much smaller encounters in Planescape. So, there's just the fact that it gives you an opportunity, more so than the other games, to just go absolutely nuts. Oh, yes, he swept. I love watching him sweep with his giant two-handed sword, and just... That's why I push him forward. Just let him do whatever he's gonna do. I should probably... I wanted to see what some of these scrolls had, because I haven't even looked at them. I was looking up what some of these spells even do. Oh, yes! More restoration spell. Oh, I needed that. Animate Dead's a weird one. I don't know. I might start selling some of these just because they don't seem even a little useful. But, what are you gonna do? Oh, he's already moved, alright. Go equip Ben. I was looking up what Charm Snakes does, and it literally just charms snakes, and apparently it might be completely useless but they put it in the game just because it's a spell to put in the game. Like, apparently there's a lot of spells in this game that are wholly impractical. They give you some options in like the tabletop version of Dungeons and Dragons, but in the more limited scope of this version, there's no point for them. But because it's a D&D game, they just put them in, because why not? It doesn't hurt to have a bunch of spells. So apparently there's spells in this game that just functionally do nothing. I don't know. Maybe there's some expert out there who knows exactly what Charm Snake can do and what it's used for, and how maybe maybe I should try it on like the giant lizards I've seen. Maybe it just randomly works on giant lizards. They're kind of snakes. Or I heard there's a Medusa in this game. Maybe I could use it on her hair. Maybe if I snake charm Medusa's hair, it does something. That would be fun. But I think, for the most part, there's spells which do nothing in this game, or have an exceptionally limited, exceptionally limited scope. So, I don't know. Been wandering around for these nomad and kobold camps. I have no idea where they are. I'm trying to resist the urge to just look it up. Although I'm getting closer to it, because some of these encounters are getting obnoxious. But like I said, I just have to figure out how to parlay with them, and then it should get easier to find what I'm looking for. I'm really glad that's an option that's provided. Alright, let's hit him with my sword. Oh, that did it. They're all giving up. I'll just preserve my arrows. Yeah, the experience I'm getting is just a pittance. Alright, what did they even drop? I don't think I even want copper or silver. I think I'm just gonna leave everything. I have no need for any of it. I want to save room for any actual treasure I find. Maybe all I need to do is just... Alright. I tried Meek before. Worked on goblins. Nice work on goblins. Yeah, kobolds are kind of like goblins? Maybe? Nice, insulted them too. Well, I don't think I'll keep boring you guys. I told you what I needed to tell you. Just a really good... I feel like this is a really good historical look back at the history of this particular type of RPG. I'm really glad I've gone back to play it. This is a small band. So, I'll see you guys next time I have something to add. Maybe when I get to one of the camps or find a boss or something. Later.